We haven't spoken to Brendan Bradford for a week or two, it might be. Welcome back to the show, mate.
Good to be back. How are you?
Oh, terrific. Sitting here as a Warriors fan as you are, just absolutely lolling and loving the fact that we don't play and we go a place up the table. How good's that?
Oh, it's the best. It's the best. It was like a buy round. It was a buy round for us as well. 2 points in the bag, just watching everyone else smash each other, and I'm not so good for my tipping. I'm slipping down with over the last couple of weeks, but as a Warriors fan, it's good. Inside the top 8, 2 points away from top of the table. It's a logjam up there.
All right, so tell me who did win the tipping comp this weekend. Tell me who actually picked those games, starting with St George against the Roosters. Stop it. West Tigers putting 66 points on the Cowboys. Get out of here. The Bulldogs coming back from 14 or 18-0 down or whatever it was against the Titans and winning. Come on. And then the Eagles smacking the Raiders. Oh, now you're having a laugh, mate. Honestly, Brendan, is that how you looked at the round?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I went into this round thinking, there's a couple of 50-50s there, but, I'm pretty confident the Rabbitohs are going to beat the Eels. Storm, okay, so I thought Storm would beat the Dolphins, but then Raiders Manly, I thought, it could go either way. They've both been a little bit up and down. Raiders are on a good run of form, and then all of a sudden, Tom Dvojevic comes out of nowhere, scores all the tries, gets back, locks up his origin position, and Manly run away with it. West Tigers, out of nowhere, most points they've ever scored, absolutely steamrolling the Cowboys. It was just one of those weekends. The Eels putting 36 on South Sydney. Just didn't see a lot of these things coming.
Yeah, and so here am I sitting there looking at the points table now. We're talking NRL people. CodeSports.au is where Brendan Bradford earns his keep. Panthers, this is the order. Panthers, Rabbits, Sharks, Broncos, Storm. All of them on 16 points. A couple have played a game more. Dolphins, Warriors, Raiders all on 14. Manly on 13. Titans, Roosters 12. Look, you can go down to where the Bulldogs are in 15th spot. They're only a couple of wins away from that top 8. But when's the last time, if ever, that you saw 5 teams tied at the top?
It's amazing. It's amazing. It's the best. I was saying this, a month and a half ago. It's the best sort of first 6 weeks of the comp I can remember. It's the best 3 months. It's incredible. I can't remember after, what have we got, 12 games in, 11 games in, for some teams that there are 5 teams tied at the top of the table. Okay, you probably would have selected a fair amount of those teams to be, top 8 kind of thing, but certainly not, teams like the Panthers with 4 losses, the Rabbitohs with 4 losses, and then the Dolphins Warriors. You probably wouldn't put those 2 teams in the top 8 either, just a point behind. And like you say, it goes all the way down to 15th with the Bulldogs, 10 points. It's only, a bye and 2 wins off what the teams at the top of the table have got. And even, I've been bagging the Tigers every week. Every Monday I come here and bag the Tigers.
Sure, good reason.
But they're only on 8.
Yeah,
they're on 8 now. So it's coming back, and the Dragons are in all sorts as well. But it's an incredible season already, filled with tops and turns and ups and downs. And the next couple of months will be really interesting with Origin selection and more buys coming up and injuries and suspensions and things like that due to Origin. But just a phenomenally good year for rugby league.
Just to remind everyone, we've only got 5 fixtures this weekend. Warriors playing the Broncos, one of those. That's Saturday night. And if you're sitting there saying, hey, Warriors go into this match, I don't think as favourites, but, counting chances against the Broncos, it wasn't that long ago the Broncos were top of the table. So, this is how quickly it can turn around. I'm just going to run through a few names here for you, and you tell me about these teams. What the hell has happened to the Cowboys this year, mate?
Oh, it honestly beats me. I'm just trying to think. Maybe last year was the outlier. Maybe this is the real Cowboys. Maybe everything clicked last year, and maybe this is where you just can't maintain that for 2-3 seasons. Because honestly, they haven't had a huge turnover of players. They've had a couple of injuries here and there, but it's not like they've been missing 3 or 4 really gun players every week. They've got good players. They've got rep players. Guys will be playing Origin. I just have no idea what's gone wrong. And I tell you, no one saw that hiding. What was it, 66?
Yeah.
No one saw them getting put 66 points on them on the weekend against the Tigers, who, a couple of weeks back, we were just writing them off completely. It's just, I have no idea what's gone wrong up there.
The Eels are in 13th spot, people. They've won 5, lost 7. I mean, the Warriors have won 6, lost 5. I mean, it's pretty damn close here. But, I mean, what are we meant to make of this side that every now and again is capable of putting on a performance like they did on the weekend and knocking off a team that, for all well and good before that game, South looked as though they deserved their spot at the top of the table, and then they get pumped 36-16. So what do we make of the Eels?
Yeah, the Eels is one, again, a couple of months ago, I sort of hung my hat on the fact that the Eels will come good and they'll make the top 8. And every week that went by, it was sort of that was becoming more and more unlikely. And then they go out and beat the Rabbitohs. And look, that's one team that has had a huge turnover of players. They had some really sort of underrated forwards leave and disperse. And I guess that's what happens when you're a good side for a couple of years. There's salary cap pressures and other clubs come and want to take your players as well. So they're dealing with a few things. That's what their big issue is. Just a high turnover of players, largely in the back row as well. So I'm still sort of clinging to the fact that I think they'll make a run at some point. I'm just thinking they won't be hugely hit by Origin. There'll be a couple of players there. Junior Paulo will be gone. But I don't think they'll be smashed like your Broncos or anything like that. I'm still, largely because I said it so confidently, in sort of March, April, I still think they'll make the top 8.
Brendan Bradford is with us. We're talking NRL. Paul's on the line waiting to talk Moana Pacifica. We'll get to you in a second, mate. I've got a couple of more questions to go here. I mean, the Eels, I could have gone / Roosters in the same bracket here, 5 and 6, the Roosters. I mean, this is a team that are going to make the 8, aren't they, Brendan?
Surely. They can't.
What a dumb question. If I'd said that to you at the start of the year, you would have laughed off. You said, what are you talking about? You don't know nothing, mate. I mean, really, it's a serious question now, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I go back and look at one of those predictions and things, I think I had them winning, or, at least making the grand final against the Panthers probably. And now it's one of those. Okay, the first month you got a new player, Brandon Smith, coming in, and a few other changes, and you're sort of thinking, all right, they'll click eventually. They'll get their partnerships and things like that working, and eventually they'll come good. And it just hasn't. They look sort of leaderless, rudderless at times. And it feels, I can't remember who was writing this, but I think it's spot on. Like, you look at all the really good Roosters sides over the last couple of years, and they've had at least one player that sort of stands out, just drags everyone else along. And for a long time it was Boyd Cordner. It's been Sonny Bill in the past, guys like this. And I look at that side, and there are players capable of being that player, that person. I thought it might be Joey Manu this year, but no one's really taken it, upon themselves to just pull this side along and get them out of the doldrums. What I will say, that was one of the craziest finishes you'll ever see. One of the most insane last 10 minutes of a game against the Dragons. Dragons scoring a try for literally the last play of the game. So, the Roosters, I'm just still waiting for it to click, still waiting for whatever is not quite going right with Brandon Smith at hooker to come right. And I still think they'll make the 8. Blindly clinging to that they're too good not to be playing finals footy.
All right, then. Panthers, Rabbits, Sharks, Broncos, Storm at the top. Broncos versus Warriors, Napier this coming weekend. So is this Broncos side on the slide? Is what we're seeing what we saw last year, when all of a sudden they're the only team that had been in that position, I think, ever, and then lost their last 10 games or some stupid stat like that?
I think it's too early to say that. I think they're sort of just starting to come back to the pack a little bit. They've been a little bit underwhelming for the last couple of weeks, but I reckon they're absolutely there for the taking for the Warriors this week. They'll be without a host of players on Origin duties. Over in Napier again as well. The Warriors largely unaffected by Origin, having a week off too. I think the Warriors are. I'm not going to say favourite, but I think they're right there to claim a big scalp and continue this pretty good season for the Warriors.
Brendan, thank you as always, mate. We look forward to catching up next week. Brendan Bradford, CodeSports.au out of Oz.